Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Friday, December the 5th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to open higher this morning with ASX futures up around 6 points. Global equity markets mostly gained overnight while the US dollar weakened further. However, on Wall Street, investors were cautious amid rising treasury yields and a fall in US jobless claims. Meta rose after reports said the tech giant planned to cut up to 30% of its metaverse budget. Meta has committed as much as $72 billion in capital spending this year. Amazon shares came under selling pressure after it said it was in discussions with the US Postal Service about their future relationship and is considering its options before its contract expires next year. Intel was among the worst performing stocks, and shares of Salesforce rose after it raised its fiscal 26 revenue and adjusted profit forecasts. Snowflake fell heavily after the cloud data analytics company fourth quarter profit revenue forecast was below investor expectations for stronger growth. And the consumer staple sector was dragged lower by a fall in Kroger, with the supermarket chain narrowing its annual sales forecast and missing quarterly sales estimates. Hormel Foods climbed after the peanut butter maker forecast annual profit above estimates, while Dollar General shares surged after the discount retailer raised its annual profit forecast. Paramount Skydance fell, with Netflix leading the bidding for Warner Brothers Discovery. And shares of the copper miners fell, tracking the lower price of the red metal, which hit a record in the previous session. Well, the number of Americans filing unemployment benefits fell to a more than 3-year low last week, which has helped allay fears of a sharp deterioration in labour market conditions. An independent survey found the economy lost 9,000 jobs in November, which follows a read on private payrolls, which decreased last month by the most in more than 2.5 years. And new orders for US factory goods increased less than expected in September as manufacturers remained constrained by tariffs. Factory orders rising 0.2% after a downwardly revised 1.3% increase in August. US Treasury yields have risen as investors consolidate positions ahead of next week's Federal Reserve meeting, where the central bank is widely expected to deliver a third consecutive rate cut. The US 2-year Treasury yield rose to 3.53%. The 10-year was up to 4.1%. And the US dollar has fallen further against the yen, which is heading for its largest weekly gain against the US currency in more than 2 months. The yen has been boosted on reports that the Bank of Japan is likely to raise interest rates this month. And the Aussie is trading at 66.1 US cents. Oil prices have risen on expectations of a US rate cut, while stalled Ukraine peace talks tempered expectations of a deal restoring Russian oil flows. Brent crude up around 1% to $63 a barrel. Copper prices have eased slightly after hitting a record, while iron ore is down around 0.5% at 106 a tonne. And gold largely unchanged as rising US Treasury yields offset support from a weaker dollar. Spot gold at around $4,200 an ounce. And Bitcoin is trading above 92,000 US dollars. No local data today, but on the corporate calendar, Premier Investments and Arafura Rare Earths are holding AGMs. That's your day ahead. We'll see you again on Monday.